Hello friends of TV Agro, my name is Cesar Muñeton. Today we are in the 3D simulation and printing lab at La Salle University. I'm going to tell you a little bit of history of how is a 3D printing lab. The first thing I have to tell you is that we are currently living a revolution, that is the Revolution 4.0, which is everything that is permeating new technologies, such as artificial intelligence. Everything that has to do with robotics, and it is also part of these new technologies such as 3D printing. It is clear that all these technologies have allowed us to change the dynamics in which we relate to others, as well as in business and learning areas. As is the case of 3D printing, which has become a technological tool that has helped us to learn. Basically, the lab is linked to the anatomy lab, where we can make 3D printed replicas of all the bodies, shapes, and structures that we have in domestic animals. We have an Artec EVA scanner, which is a high-definition scanner, which allows us to replicate all the bodies. We can scan, for example, in this case of this jaw, we take all the angles and we convert it into a three-dimensional file, which gives us the opportunity to make the necessary changes and edits to obtain a mesh of points that we can take to the computer and print it. We have the participation and talent of Jason Peña, an engineer in mechatronics training, who supports us in everything related to scanning and editing of all this that I am telling you. After we make the scanning of the parts we want to replicate, I will invite you to see the printer in operation and how the parts are obtained. "3D printing is a disruptive technology which has been gaining ground in various areas such as engineering, architecture, medicine, dentistry, and also veterinary medicine. Has been influenced by the development of 3D printing. This is a 3D printer. It is a printer that prints by layers. It works with a material that generally are thermoplastics, which are heated by a nozzle, which is depositing layer by layer everything that I need to replicate. Thanks to the scanner we can replicate any geometric figure. First, the machine covers it into a file, and then it is brought here to print it. As you can see in this case, we are printing the scapula of a horse, because traditionally, we have used a skeleton that has belonged to an equine. We have another didactic aid that will make the elaboration of the bones in 3D printing. 3D printing is impacting veterinary medicine every day, since it has not made a contribution to learning, but has also allowed animals to have a better welfare. Since with this type of technology we can obtain prostheses and constructive implants for dogs. For example, when they have a fracture, we can manufacture implants in materials such as titanium or steel 64, which allow the canine patient to have a better recovery. Another important part of 3D printing is the 3Rs principle, which consists of replacing animals with other alternatives that allow us to create and print these structures. As I mentioned, it is important to reduce the use of animals. So thanks to this type of technology, we can achieve it. Another aspect to highlight with this type of principle is refinement, which has to do with the animal welfare, the decrease in the use of animals, and the implementation of other technologies such as 3D printing. Currently at this university, we have research products related to 3D printing. The first thing is a replica of a model of the equine skeleton. This was made in a PLA material, what was done was to scan the real equine skeleton, edit it, and print it. We can handle different materials. For example, the material I have here is a carbon fiber material. I have materials like these, which are PLA materials, which are environmentally friendly materials because they degrade over time. Some of the projects have been developed by the students. For example, this one, which is a kidney. I can have in the anatomy laboratory a real animal kidney and at the same time a 3D printing replica, which will be useful for the students to complement their learning. We have different materials of different colors. For example, this is a thermosensitive material, where its color will change with heat. The most used material is PLA, as is the case of this skeleton. It is also important to know that we have another type of research that we have been developing and working with the Faculty of Optometry for the design of ocular prostheses, which will serve for those canines that lose their eye, where suddenly it is necessary to perform a nucleation, so they will have an ocular prosthesis. But these prostheses will also be shared with the engineering area, and the idea is that we can also make prostheses for humans. Once we have these 3D files, we can work on augmented reality and virtual reality, which we are working on with the e-learning area of the university. Students from the third semester can take this elective of simulation and 3D printing. In this area, they are taught the basic terms of printing and scanning. As I mentioned before, this printer prints plastic polymers, which has a bed that is heated to a suitable temperature, as well as its nozzle. From this development, we have some students who have taken advantage of the knowledge acquired from the subject they saw during their career as a business opportunity, and today they have their own ventures. So I want to invite you to get to know this venture. Hello, how are you? My name is Esnida Avila. I'm a 5th semester student at La Salle University. In this opportunity, I meet with engineer Jason. We are going to talk about the development of splints that were developed during the 3D modeling and simulation class. Here at the university, we develop this type of splints for clinical implementation of patients with cases of fractures, dislocations, among others. This was done from a software called SolidWorks, which allows us to make completely customized splints, helping us in all orthopedic processes of patients. The scope of programming and modeling are based on the imagination. Since this type of tools, together with the help of the engineer Jason, gives us the possibility that through design we can create any object. Hello friends of TV Agro, my name is Jennifer Preder. I'm a 5th semester student of veterinary medicine at the University of La Salle. I had the opportunity to take the elective of simulation and 3D modeling. Today, I want to talk about my venture. You can find me on Instagram as Tienda Medvet. All my company is focused on the Guild of Veterinary Medicine. All products are focused for students, assistants, and veterinary doctors. The idea of this company started because I did not find many companies that had products for veterinary students. Almost always we'll find where products for students of human medicine. And this lectiva helped me to make these models that are cat skulls, which serve for students of veterinary medicine. We can see the bone accidents, the parts of the skull. We also have keychains, which are these, which served for decoration, but everything is focused for our Guild of Veterinary Medicine. We have these anatomical models that come with various parts, such as ribs, intestines, skull, heart, among others. The best of all is that it can be assembled. which will greatly benefit the professional training. Well, we also have these notebooks that are focused on anatomy. On the inside, we can find stickers with the parts of the horses we have. On the inside, we can find stickers with the parts of the horses. We have the medical terminology. We have some curious facts. We have the dividers, all focused on anatomy. We also have these card holders, also focused on the area of anatomy. I also learned to design this with a 3D simulation elective. You can find more about these products on Instagram as Tienda Medbed, and you can find me as at jennifer.veterinaria, where I give tips for students. I talk about my experience as a student of this career. So friends of TV Agro, I invite you not to miss our programs and of course, to follow us on social networks. Well, friends of TV Agro, remember I am Cesar Muñeton, and I want to thank you for accepting our invitation to know what we are doing in the 3D simulation and modeling laboratory of La Salle University. I want to invite all viewers and young people who like veterinary medicine and are passionate about animals to visit us and know the university. The doors are open to all of you, and of course to join the Salista family. Thank you very much.